Hello everyone, welcome back to Passionate Lessons, airing at 8 p.m. every evening on this YouTube channel. Tonight, we will talk about a topic that is both sensitive and essential: how to forgive someone who has hurt you. This is an experience no one wants to go through, yet many of us inevitably will at some point. And while the pain is real, how we respond to it can determine our peace of mind, our emotional health, and the quality of the life we live. Before we dive into the process of forgiveness, it is important to understand one key idea. Forgiveness is not for the other person, it is for yourself. Often, we think that forgiving someone means excusing their behavior, forgetting what happened, or even making peace with them. But in reality, forgiveness is a gift we give to ourselves. It allows us to release the burden of anger, resentment, or emotional pain, and it helps us reclaim control over our own lives. You may still remember the hurt, and that's okay. Forgiveness does not erase memory, it transforms how you relate to it. And that makes all the difference. The first step in this journey is changing your perspective. When someone has hurt you, our natural tendency is to focus only on what they did wrong, to relive the betrayal or the disappointment again and again. But there is another way to look at it. Consider what they did not know, did not understand, or never had the chance to learn. For example, if someone betrayed your trust, instead of simply labeling him as dishonest or cruel, you can try to see it from another angle. Perhaps they were never taught the importance of loyalty. Perhaps their upbringing did not model respect for others. Or perhaps they simply lacked the emotional depth to understand the consequences of their actions. Shifting your perspective is not about excusing their behavior, it is about reducing the weight of your anger and seeing the situation with clarity. The second step is understanding the context and the reasons behind their actions. Many people act out of patterns learned in childhood, or from environments that shaped them without proper guidance. They might not know how to respect boundaries, how to be faithful, or how to empathize. They might have grown up in difficult families, with parents who argued or were absent, without learning what it means to care for someone else. By exploring this, you realize that their actions often reflect their own limitations rather than a deliberate attack on you. Understanding this does not mean condoning what they did. Wrong is wrong, and hurt is real, but by seeing the bigger picture, we reduce the personal burden of anger and start to reclaim our peace. Next comes the step that often takes the most time: processing and releasing the emotional weight. Forgiveness is a process, not an instant solution. It involves acknowledging your pain, naming your emotions, and giving yourself permission to feel them fully. Sometimes we try to skip this step and pretend we are fine. But unresolved emotions linger and affect our relationships, our health, and our happiness. The goal is not to suppress the hurt but to transform it into understanding, acceptance, and release. Think of it as gradually unpacking a heavy bag, examining each item, and putting down the ones that no longer serve you. Once you have reflected on perspective and context, the fourth step is deciding how to live in the present and shape your future. Forgiveness is not only about the past, it is about reclaiming your life now. Ask yourself, what values are most important to me? What kind of people do I want around me? What kind of boundaries do I need to protect my well-being? By answering these questions, you actively shape your social environment and daily life. You learn to choose people who align with your core values and avoid relationships that reinforce negativity or pain. In this way, forgiveness becomes a tool for building a healthier, more intentional life. To illustrate, let's imagine someone who repeatedly betrayed your trust. Initially, the pain feels overwhelming. You might replay their actions in your mind, feeling rage or sadness, but if you pause and reflect, you may recognize patterns. They were never guided in understanding loyalty. They lacked emotional insight, or they acted unconsciously from their own childhood wounds. Seeing this, you do not erase the experience, but you release its hold over your emotions. You may still remember, yet the sting lessens, allowing you to move forward with a lighter heart. Another important aspect is learning from the experience. Each hurt carries a lesson, however difficult. Perhaps you learn to recognize your own boundaries more clearly. Perhaps you discovered which values you cannot compromise on, or which traits in others are most important for trust. By turning the experience into insight, you transform pain into knowledge, and knowledge into strength. This is not a quick process. It may take days, weeks, or even months. The key is consistency, reflection, and patience with yourself. Finally, forgiveness is a bridge connecting the past, present, and future. It helps you close old wounds, learn from them, and build a life guided by values you choose. Imagine your life as a structure made of bricks. The past may have left behind bricks of hurt and betrayal. Forgiveness allows you to place new bricks of respect, kindness, integrity, and love on top. Over time, these new layers become the foundation of a life that feels safe, fulfilling, and joyful. In conclusion, remember that forgiveness is not a favor for someone who hurt you. It is a gift to yourself. It allows you to move forward without the constant weight of resentment. It enables you to choose your relationships, build your life intentionally, and cultivate inner peace. You may still remember the pain, but you will no longer let it define your emotional world. And that is the true power of forgiveness. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Remember, Passionate Lessons airs at 8 p.m. every evening, and we look forward to sharing more insights, reflections, and guidance to help you live a thoughtful and meaningful life.